Hey, it's Dr. Rowe here. Hope you are well. It's time to wear a hat today. I thought I'd talk to you about selling yourself. Now, wow, this is a big subject, and you might be saying, well, what's that image behind him? If I just move out of the way, what can you see? Sell yourself. So, most people don't do that very well. Well, particularly in the United Kingdom and in Europe. I find if I go to the States, Canada, actually, they're very good. More so, the Americans are not afraid to sell themselves, talk about what they do and who they are and all about themselves. So the challenge, I think, for people in Europe particularly is this whole psychology of, particularly if you go to a place like Denmark. My fiance is Danish, so there's a fear of or a resistance to overselling yourself. Jandislaw, I think they call it in Scandinavia, where you shouldn't talk about yourself too much, shouldn't big yourself up. But the reality is we're in a world today where if you're self-employed, you're going for interviews, job interviews, whether you've got a business, a product or a service or something to offer, you need to sell two things. One, you, and then number two, the service that you're offering. So I'm going to give you some key tips, and I've been in this field for so long now that I could just go down lots of different avenues with you, and this might not seem as obvious actually when I do this, so I'm going to share it with you. I've created an image for you actually. Let me just see if I can pull this up. Sorry, not an image, a list for you. Let me drag this out, make it a bit bigger actually, and then I'll move out the way over there. Okay, so the first things first, you got to get good at telling your story, but I don't mean like blah, 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 elongated, drawn out, protracted 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes or so. It has to be tight. Now, I refer to this as a turning point tale. If you've been to any of my programs on communication, you may have heard me talk about this a lot. We actually do a whole section on the live event, which is like the turning point tale. How do you take your story in such a way that people get drawn in? They're sort of, to some extent, swept along by your journey, but at the same time, they're getting the key message that you're offering them. And it starts very simply with where you are today. This is who I am today. You then take them back to where you were and how things were back in the day. And then you bring them back through a journey of discovery to now what it is you do today. And it's a bit like a movie where they do a flashback and then you see the movie unfold. And you go, okay, that's how they got to here. And then bang, the punchline, the end of the film. In your case, it's the end of your story. Now that can be done in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on the situation and what's called for at that moment in time. As a rule of thumb, a minute to 2 minutes is probably more than enough to get across a hook for people to go, oh, that sounds really interesting. Tell me more about you. Okay, so that's the first thing, is understanding the overall story and how to structure that. The second thing is, what is the outcome of this interaction? The outcome of my interaction with you right now is in the space of 4, 5, 6 minutes to get across 3, 4, 5 key messages, in this case 5. What is your outcome? Are you wanting to sell them on employ me for this job? That could be one outcome. Another outcome could be take me on as a consultant to you and you can pay me on an hourly rate. That could be another outcome. Another outcome could be, hey, I'm available, I'm good looking, I'm smart, you want to spend time with me, come on a date with me. Okay, so it could be like you're selling yourself to somebody else that you want to go out and date, court, or whatever word you want to use for that. It could be, hey, listen, I've got an amazing product here. First of all, though, let me tell you why this product's great in relationship to me, or why you should buy from me as opposed to the person down the road, i.e. selling yourself first before selling the product. It could be on any number of things, but what is the outcome? Otherwise, boom, 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 you go over too many places, they get confused. Also think about what is the outcome for them as well. So in that communication, if it's just me, they're going to switch off. So you have to find out in that interaction with somebody else what it is they're looking for themselves, and so that when you sell yourself, you kind of sell yourself to what they need. That'll be fitting into the last couple of points I want to make it. 3 is just share your knowledge. Show them that you know what you're talking about. Show them that I'm worth listening to. Sell yourself from a knowledge perspective, from an experience perspective, using social proof. When I talk about my communicating with impact system, there's 38 components to that. If you're familiar with it, you'll remember there's a you, them, and there's the environment. Well, the them part, there's a part in there, an element where if you want to create impact and you want to get people engaged, you need to talk a little bit more about you. Sell them on what you know, your experience, and what you've done. That's really important. Number 4 is, what is their pain? When they're listening to you, what's the biggest pain they've got right now? Why is it they're even talking to you? Are they talking to you because they want to buy a product, but they're not sure which one to buy? This is their problem and they need a solution to it. Or is it that they maybe got a difficult time in their life right now and they need a coach or a speaker or a mentor or somebody that provides a service? You happen to have that service, but this is a specific area of pain they've got. You've got to find a way to find a solution to that. That's number 5. So it could be any number of things. Maybe it's an employer, and they're looking for somebody to fill a role. They've had 2 or 3 people in the past, haven't done a good job, and they're looking for somebody that has X, Y, and Z skills. And this is their pain, and they're hoping that you can fulfill that, which comes to number 5. The more you understand about the other person's situation, the more you understand about them, what they're looking for, what their greatest pain is, the easier it's going to be for you to find a solution, because you can go, right, let me call up my arsenal. Let me have a look at my arsenal, I should say, and say, right, I've got, these are the big guns. These are my skills, my tools here. Here are some of the smaller guns. This is some of the things I've done in the past. You've got your CV, your experience, your product, your service, whatever it is you offer, and make sure it matches with what they're looking for. The challenge for a lot of people when they're selling themselves, they sell so hard and they want everyone to look at them and focus on themselves. They forget to bring the appropriate part of themselves to the table that's going to appeal to the other person. And you've got to do it with confidence and flow and articulate, energetic, all those things that come into different interpersonal skills. But right now, there were 5 things that will definitely help you match with what somebody else is looking for. So you're selling yourself to fit what you know they need as well. All right, I'm going to sign off there. Hopefully that was useful. I shall see you on my next share. Remember to follow, either if it's on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. Go subscribe and spend more time around us. Go and have a look at the Cicado Show, which is cicado.com/podcast, and go and listen to the podcast, because we do have some cool stuff on communication and learning to connect with people at a better level. I shall see you on the next post.